All right, good morning, self. We just had news come out at 8:30. The market came down to test the. It tested 3896, or is lower than that. Oh, I wasn't connected. Wow, so we just came up. ESM, okay. We came up to yesterday's high a day, which was sitting at 3940. Did not hit it. Pretty interesting. So we came down and tested the low. We tested 85. So that's the new low a day there. And that was underneath the previous close, which was too low. Then we came up and tested the high. We could not break the high. Dun, 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 dun. So fairly interesting activity. I would like to trade this, but before I do, I need to run through my morning video, and then maybe we could trade for like 15 minutes or something, or watch the market. So yesterday, I was fighting the trend all morning. Mainly, my plan was to see responsive buying in the market, and I was on the long side during the morning, but after we did see the responsive buying, I just really wanted to short the shit out of it. So I was shorting the most of the ride up and taking stops and scratches and one winner. But the main thing is that I didn't stop to ask myself, I didn't stop to ask myself, what is the market doing? What is the storyline here? And what makes sense? What side should I be aligning with? Which side is winning the battle? Those are really important questions for staying aligned with the market context. And throughout the day, let's see. So we start off with a long, and we get a scale, and then we start off with a long, and we get scratched. Oh, I guess I wrote this all under observations. And the missing data did hurt me yesterday. Although it's not necessarily my fault, but it did affect how I performed. I didn't catch this context change because of the missing data. And because I didn't see the data, I wasn't able to put the pieces together, and it really never clicked for me until the VWAP to VPOC. And then even after that, I was still taking IBFs instead of IBCs. So I was really never in alignment with yesterday's uptrend. And this is what it looked like. And I was done in here. So, yeah, crazy. I was trading both sides. I should really just figure out which side is winning. The market was really volatile yesterday, and I took one trade that I really didn't have enough room to scale, although I intended to have enough room to scale. I think it's this one. Yeah. No. Well, anyway, it was out of alignment, and it was very high risk. So today, my main goal is to flow with the market still and tell the story of what the market is saying and just stick with that. So I didn't hesitate in my entries. When I was in profit on the VWAP to VPOC, but my target was not hit, I let the trade run and took a scratch, which is great because it's going to show in my stats over time, for sure. It can't be so subjective sometimes. I'm looking for shorts when the plan is only longs. When price is rallying, do not fight the trend, align with it. I'm fighting the trend for most of the ride up, which is why I'm taking losses. Once I'm aligned with the trend, I had huge winners. All my losses today are due to trying to short a bull market. I do not one stop ask myself if I should be looking for longs or shorts. I am carelessly playing both sides. I am distracted by being in a trade when I enter, and I often miss key opportunities to double down on my edge. That's a big one. I mean, they're both huge. Today, I need to be aligning with the higher time frame context, reading the structure of the market, reading the story, being the storyteller, understanding the emotions of both sides of participants, and asking which side is in pain, which side is taking over, where is the max pain level, and then wait for structure, and like yesterday, no hesitation, pull the trigger. When I enter a trade and price is kind of lingering around my area, keep reading the market, because there are many times where I could take another entry and I don't. And if I could take 2 entries on one trade that I have confidence in, it's going to be huge over time. Tomorrow's goals. In these moments, when a large impulse happens, I need to take a step back and purely ask, where's the outside edge and can I align with the trend? So in a trending market, trending rules apply. Be cautious the first 15 minutes of the market open. I lose the majority of my money within the first 5 minutes of the market open. Absolutely, I do. So, if I'm going to take a trade, it needs to be no hesitation and not waiting for a pullback, not waiting for the market to create a double bottom. And I need to be confident, not hesitant, and it needs to be an A-game trade. All right. I haven't had any coffee yet. So, in the overnight session, so from yesterday's session, we see a P-shaped profile. This area was left behind at 3847. We didn't reach the overnight low. We created high volume, and then this is all low volume in here. And then we had a big double distribution, with one high being at 20, which was the VPOC, and the second one being at 95-ish, right in here. Right, and then we come up, we test the 40 area, which is the previous high a day. We're chopping the 20, come down, check the other side, which is too low, come back up, test the upside, fall out, test the low, come back up, close right at 13.5. So that's the small gap that we have. In the overnight session, we see a high volume node at 3910. Well, this isn't even accurate anymore. I think I need to close down Edge Pro X every day because it shits out every day. So now what I'm seeing is two-sided trading, mean reversion. The low was tested of yesterday's high volume, and the high a day was almost tested. And then we come down, this is too low, and we're holding up against this volume here. But up above, we have this previous high a day that could be potentially taken. And if it gets picked, and then we see a structure, it could be mean reversion back towards 20. My Edge Pro X is only showing that price rallied to 3905. Oh, I'm on ESH now. ESM. Okay. So we're still in yesterday's range. So in range, and then it'll probably be in value. All right, well, I have to poop, so I'm not going to be trading before the market open. I'll be back. GG. Price is up here, pushing the high. We're looking for a pick of the high a day for potential mean reversion. A lot of liquidity up here. Check the context. A week high. Tested multiple times. So I want to see a pick of that area. For potential reversion. Break low, breaking high. We have the red line as the high a day, 156 stops. There's still more up there. Although this looks like it could be a short. So I guess that's all it was able to offer for now. That is a shorting structure right here. Unable to break. We did see the pick.
Good morning, traders.
A break below.
2 a.m. Chicago time on the 14th of March, 2023. Thanks for joining me today. Just a quick mic check. Still experiencing a few issues with this new PC. Something's going on with this fancy microphone that I I'm supposed to be using. So just using the headset for now. So this is episode number 2429, US CPI day. This is one of the key days of the month. US CPI already came out. We'll talk about that in a minute. For now, again, this is episode 2429. Thanks for joining me. Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. And the markets are strong this morning. Yesterday, we did push down and we turned around and actually engulfed Friday's range. We'll look at that in a bit, and finished relatively in the middle of the RTH session for the US indices. So overall, let me just make sure I'm on the right. So risk on sentiment today, the Russell making a big recovery. The Russell, of course, has a lot of those banks in it, the regional banks, and is popping higher. Everybody's poking their head out of their bunker this morning and going to work as usual. No key earnings. US CPI came out this morning. In case you were not aware, US CPI inflation, the inflation rate year on year was expected to come out at 6%, the prior 6.4. 6.4 prior, expected at 6, came in at 6% in line. Core inflation was expected at 5.5, the prior is 5.6, came in at 5.5 in line. Inflation rate month on month is 0.4 in line with expectations. So all is working perfectly, all is good according to the markets here. From here, really we just have the Cleveland Fed CPI. We do have the API inventories at 4:30 Eastern, Fed's Bowman this evening, and then we do have industrial production from China at 10 p.m. in case you're trading that late. Again, I didn't highlight this yesterday, but pay attention to the rotations since we're at the beginning of the week. Make sure you're aware. Looking at the S&P stats, the S&P 424,000 contracts traded compared to what we would consider the edge of normal, which is 320. The inventory is 100% long, 55 points of range. This gives us the idea that yes, the market is definitely skewed long the overnight session versus yesterday's settlement. That's what that inventory is saying. But we also have 55 points of range, so we're expecting another day of pretty decent volatility as far as we can tell. In case you've been missing out, crypto has been ripping higher day in, day out. People are trading this. Once again, we see those products moving quite a bit. By the way, CME released the Bitcoin event contract, so you can trade it from day to day to day with a cash risk value of $20. Maximum loss, maximum gain. Crude oil, after a nice recovery yesterday, it is down 2%, $1.61. It got pretty close to the prior month's low before it bounced back up and into the range, which was unlikely. I was willing to bet against that, and that didn't work out so well. So let's dig into the charts here real quick. That's not what I wanted to dig into. Here we go. Looking, of course, everything I'm quoting today, just as a reminder, everything I'm quoting is in the June contracts. So we're looking at and trading ESM3, ESM3, NQM3, YMM3, and RQYM3. Crude oil is in April, so it's a CLJ3. The S&P opened at the low end of the range. If you recall, yesterday we talked about this. We were hovering around the low, and I talked about how if it's hovering around the low, then it's very likely to move back to prior settle. The test lower was expected. All is good on the banking front. What it did do, though, it went all the way through the range of Friday's high, and it broke the one-time framing down established on Friday and created this kind of outside day, higher low, lower low, higher high. And so the expectation here was that we would likely just trade these days on top of each other. But what it's doing is it's doing a good job working itself back to where basically the SOC and this whole thing started. So the SOC, if you remember the banking, the SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank crisis started here, and we sold off pretty strong and finished down at the low end of Thursday. And we're currently trading at 39.32, and the SOC for this is right up against the point of control, right in the 39.90 range. So in my opinion, having averted this crisis, although there are quite a few banks with some stinky stuff on their balance sheet, this thing is very likely, if it takes out today's high, yesterday's high at 39.40, and we are very likely to drive right back up to 39.90, which is not far from here, about 55 points. Well, that's basically a day's range. Most common day's range is around 50 points or so, well within range of getting back to 39.90. So this is how it's looking. Yesterday, clear rejection of the lows. Again, we opened, tested lower, turned up, pushed all the way up to the other side of Friday's range, and then finished somewhere in the middle and settled somewhere in the middle of the RTH session. This morning, we're on the positive side. Again, inventory is 100% long. So this morning, we're looking for a minor pullback into the range here. If I combine these, we'll be able to see where we are exactly. So you can see here, we are trading right on the edge of value of this fairly well balanced profile. And so what you have here is we're trading right in here. The expectation is a mild fallback into yesterday's open area. 39.20 is likely to be the number here. And then a strong potential for a push and working itself back to the 39.90. That's how the S&P is currently set up, and it brings us into this big balance range. Okay, so that's the key element here. Looking at the overnight session for clues. Overnight session, very busy. This is a 1-tick by 8-tick chart. You can see that the overnight session has taken up the whole screen.
Okay, so we did get that pick, and then inability to continue. So I take the short here, and we're risk neutral. I think that this move may not happen before the open. We have the LVN at 31.25, and we have a lot of structure that was built right around here, so we'll target the structure.
Order submitted.
And then we're going to target the 20-ish area. Although today, what we're mainly looking for is either the market breaks through the 40, so pulls back towards the 20, and then impulses up and breaks through the 40, and then we see the 40 level hold. It kind of like walks down towards the high and then breaks higher. And then in that case, we're targeting the 90. The key here is that we see kind of like a pullback, but it's not like, I mean, I guess at the open, it could it could do anything. Like it's not like so important what it looks like, but we want to see this 20 area hold. And if that 20 area holds and we get that impulse, then there's potential to test the overnight high at 40 since the market looks fairly strong. And then we look for a break of 40 and a walk down and a hold. Also, if the market breaks the 40 and then we see, this is the key part, a large impulse down, then we look to get on board for a short, targeting the previous settlement at 38.89. So 38.90-ish, which gives us a lot of range. So there's a lot of range in both directions here. So what we saw here was the market holds this and it's testing up here at this 40. It's not yet breaking it. So we'll see. So yeah. So we're just gonna let this thing ride. Our pre-market plan is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna read it one more time. So essentially, we traversed Friday's range and we're looking for a pullback towards the center. Here, the volume at around 20, and then an impulse up, and then a hold of 40, and then we're targeting 90. Alternatively, where is it? I guess I don't have it on here. But if we break above the 40 and then we see a large impulse down instead of it holding, then that means that that price is likely too high and we target the settlement. Pretty simple. The markets are strong this morning, so will not be surprised to see price break through. I have to use the bathroom. Lucy, no, Lucy. So the market has worked its way up to this previous high a day. It's fought its way up. I wouldn't be surprised to watch this take me out. We are sitting right at the previous high a day here. It poked its head above. And what I would want to see is not this grinding action any longer, but a strong move down, which we're not getting. Take note that we are opening currently at the previous high a day, and the overnight low is very close. So there is potential to bullet train in the morning. See sort of a rounding top here. There is some volume to rely on though, so it could easily just turn into a bull flag. There's a block of liquidity stepping in. Falling out. If we open above the previous high day, then we open out of range. It's potential gap and go. Either way, we're ready, and we're aligned if it decides not to do that. So that block of liquidity was removed. Strong buying. Takes me out. There's the overnight high. Here we go. So we open at a range. I don't see my VWAP. So overnight high taken. All right, let's find some alignment here. So that's considered too low. Open line break. Looking for a test here. Whoa. That's previous low.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay, we're risk neutral. There's another test. Testing the volume. Unable to break this high so far. Testing the high. I think this 50 is probably a pretty good area.
Order submitted.
Mid-century.
Order submitted.
Buyers are stepping in there. Sellers. Tap the low. There is my stop. Okay, so the plan is to look for a pullback, potentially to the 20 area. So now price is saying too low here. I mean, too high. A lot of volatility. Don't want to be shorting. So we pull back to 36, large buy ice. So we pull back, we get back above the 40. We're back at the previous volume point of control. We're testing the open line. Potential for small VWAP to VPOC. And a test of mid. Or we could break high and then try to enter a pullback towards VPOC. Big battle here. Okay, tested VWAP. Sell ice, taken out. Broke the high. So we'll look for the open line, VPOC. So this has turned into a gap and go scenario. A retest would probably be pretty quick. Did not yet break the high. It's trying. There it is. Here's a little zipper. So a recap, we start off testing higher above the 45. We pull back. We can only get to 36. Create some volume. Impulse up to the volume here. Test above the open line. Test the VPOC. Hold the VWAP. VWAP curls up. Break the high. Pull back to the beginning of this consolidation. Test high. Breaking into 50. Wow. A lot of stops. We have a zipper at 48.75 to it's 49.5 to 48. We could look at that area for some potential. Here's an LVN. Coming down to a key test.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
$46 to $51.
Order submitted.
That's not enough there, so we're making it higher. We did catch the trade. And then after that, we have this here at 66, which has been important. So potential to come down, and we have volume here. 45, 46, we're gonna be watching. Okay, so we see that we base lower, we rally up, we test the volume here, and then we base lower, and now we're impulsing up. We're above that 43 area. Test the volume here. Testing here. Still looking for entries long. There's a test of 46. We still have these areas here that stops are going to be underneath. We slightly break this last impulse. Slow grind. Testing this. Break lower. Holding against this volume. Break above it. And now we're seeing some volume come up into the high. Break the high again. We have volume off of 50 that that may act as resistance, and then there's going to be stops above 51.25. We have faith that this could continue running though, so our first target is just below the high. We're basing at 50. Curling, getting very tight. Going to see something happen. And it looks like it may be up. This liquidity is pulling. No stops picked yet. There are some stops. So that was it, right above 51.5. Price check. Okay, I get ticked. And there's a crazy amount of stops. So now we'll place our stop loss underneath 48.75.
Order submitted.
And that area should be defended around 50. And we're targeting this micro composite volume point of control.
Order submitted.
Here's an LVN. Tested. Yes, note that if we do get continuation, it may be more of a grind. We are already at 1.5 vola up. So we're seeing that price was too high here, we reject, and now we're rejecting again. Which means potential for lower. Large selling, there's my stop. We have these areas for potential. It aligns with an LVN separating two distributions. FT says, as discussed in the trader bite, a break above overnight high, pullback sets up push towards 50 and 90. Pretty strong sweep on the tape. This is what's in progress. So that's some strong selling there. Holding on to this low here. We'll look towards VWAP and mid. Okay, some strong selling coming into there. 2 stops. So that's a price check. A break above VWAP.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
So we saw a slow grind down, no stops, impulse up, grind, impulse. I try to get on board. I get stopped because we come back and test the VPOC. Come up from the VPOC. Base, rally above the high. Is context changing? That's a break. That was an outside edge. Come down, test the volume. All right, price is starting to fail. We have VWAP to VPOC. Well, let's not be so hasty. We just tested that 41. So if we start breaking below this low here, then I think that that price may be too high at 50. That was a pretty strong sweep, and then we were unable to get above that 50, and now we're slowly falling off, it seems. So if we get back inside of yesterday's range and start holding, then it could be shorts. We did come down and test here. Let's see. Potential for VWAP to VPOC too, but price may hold here and then continue up. So if we're above yesterday's range, it's a little bit difficult to take a short. Starting to curl up. Seen some buying. $50 will be a big test. We're holding here. Break above. Test. So let's see how we react to this 50. Testing this volume. Test the VWAP. Breaking higher. Poking its head up. Some strong selling. Retest. Yes, longs may want a new developing high day here as opposed to a lower high in the 55 stock zone. So we're going to see this area. May see continuation from here. This area aligns with the LVN. So if we see picks, three stops.
Order submitted.
A little late. But we got it. So we're looking for the high.
Order submitted.
And then we'll look for that, I guess we could try to hold for 90. I don't know. Here's a retest of the VWAP. Potential for VPOC to migrate. We're seeing a basing here above VWAP. We want to see VWAP hold after that break. So we do, and we see some pretty decent buying. Break the high. Still yet to get above this 50 area. But if we do get above here, which it's now a week high, we should see some pretty strong buying into 54.75. I think our target should really be down here as it was.
Order submitted.
Because although the high says it's here, this is where all the volume is. And if we break above here, this is high probability. Look at all this. 1 test, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's a lot of stops above here, and it could fuel a move up to the next volume area. So we do break. We're looking for some continuation. "67 stock zone," says John. My initial target.
Order submitted.
Coming in hot. This is the outside edge. So now we're basing above here. We did break the high, now we're back over it, barely. And we're seeing some buying continue as we push the high, holding this 50 area. Buying is stepping in. Okay. So that was obviously a good target. because all those stops went off right into my area.
Order submitted.
That looks fine to me. From here, I would have to say to push down aggressively and have a poor pullback to get short FSV op / mid and then break those for gap to settle setup. Barring that, longs only on pullback. Thanks, Dav. Auctioning the high. Don't break the high yet. Pull back to the volume. Basing below the high. Maybe trying to gain enough strength for a push. Or maybe it's exhausting, but it doesn't seem like it's exhausting. This is large red volume with no continuation and then a break right back up. Test the high. Yes, two decent retests and hold the expected area, 40.5 confidence. We're able to get risk off. Now looking for new high a day and potentially my 67 stock zone. 40 stock zone remains my line in the sand. So we're basing here below the high a day. Creating some volume here. A little high volume node, low volume node separating the distributions. And we see some volume coming up to the high. Sellers step in before we could take that high. And now we're auctioning the low instead of bouncing off of it. So that is a reversal into the LVN on strong volume. So we find some buying right at the edge here. Auctioning the LVN may act as resistance. Here's the VWAP and an LVN. May continue up here. Okay, that's my stop. At the LVN. 2 stops. Tapping VPOC. Looked like a long. Some decent selling coming in. Some buying. Strong buying. That was kind of hard for me to catch. So pullback towards the VWAP and mid with structure could offer potential after seeing the structure here. LVN here. So I see a large chop with that 41 being supported. Biased long, obviously. No lower highs, but also a local double top at 57. So that was a good trade. Just couldn't catch it. Pretty rough time getting out of this range. So now that we have a local double top at 57, if we break above 57, we could look for a pullback to that area to break out of that range. So we might see a VPOC migration to one of these areas, and that could also offer a potential long. We break low, and we immediately rally straight up.
I'm closing it.
Okay.
It's like you're in under the sea in Super Mario. Riley's like having a die.
I know. Maybe take it for a walk.
Yeah.
Auction this volume here. Pull back. Coming back up towards the high. Yes. If this boxy action becomes our IB, it would be reasonably well formed and may give a significant break. Just tentative to that. Okay, we're breaking down. We're watching. No level. Nothing to do. Still, almost a full bracket to go before IB is in. So that's some strong selling. We got the LVN down here. We have VWAP, mid, VPOC. These are all areas where if we see structure, there's potential to get involved. 2 stops down there. Basing, maybe continuation. Testing the volume. Reaction. So that could be a long if if there was a level attached to it. Grind. Some selling. I hope that the IB is set to where that high is. That would be great. Because that would mean that I have a very clear level to play off of. Coming back down. Testing this volume. Slight break. Some more selling. Holding that volume. VPOC migration.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
I don't think I like it, but
Order submitted. Order submitted.
liquidity is pulling, opening the door for me. Okay, I do get a fill there.
Order submitted.
And now we're rallying up towards the high. We're 2 ticks off from the high. It's a local double top. Some strong buying. I get a fill. And we might see an explosion if we get above here. So that was a break. Potential for continuation. So that was a test of 57. That was a test of the high there. Liquidity stepping in. Not the strongest break.
Order submitted.
That looks good to me. Creating structure up here, created volume here. So if we want to continue, I think we probably will. And if not, then potential to come back down to these areas. Some strong selling back to that previous low. We break it. Unable to break this high. We break this structure. So trade might be done. Here's the most volume. I don't know. Yet to break here. Liquidity into 60. Market seeks liquidity. The high was taken. I'm wondering about my trailing stop. If I could just place it here, or if it's just too likely to be hit. Or if it gets taken, is it just likely that I get taken here? I think that this is pretty ample breathing room. But if we break here, we might see this anyway. Liquidity steps in. And they pull. We are basing above the high. I like where my stop is. Because it's still below this, which we're holding the bottom of it, but it'll have to test the very bottom to get to it. It'll have to break this. So I'm willing to give up the extra 2 points or whatever to hold on for a potential 65. We did test that low there. Creating some good structure underneath this area for the IB. Seems like a lot of people are targeting that 67 to 69 zone. I'm going to front rush this liquidity. And call it good. So we're basing here now. Looks like we're trying to gain some strength. This guy is staying, so the market's going to have to work hard to get beyond that. And we are choppy, so there's potential for a counter rotation. But after the IB is set, we'll see. Creating a standalone high volume node. So yeah, we're struggling to get up to this liquidity. So we may see some sort of rejection from the liquidity. All right, let's see if we get some continuation from that liquidity. More stepping in. What is this? White line. Oh, what the fuck, man. $9.30. Oh, it went back? What the fuck? So we break, retest. Let's see. We did get through it, but we'll see, because sometimes the market will break the liquidity and move like a point and then come back. IB is set too. IB is set to 60.5. Not a crazy amount of range. Okay, so we're picking off. Here's the IB. High volume node, LVN, high volume node. Looking for the HVN down here. Now this is a low volume node. Created some structure. Look for a pullback. A little too quick for me. It's still also hard to get risk neutral on this. Likely I would not be risk neutral until the high.
Order submitted.
Stops. Coming up into my final target. Creating new highs, some good volume.
Order submitted.
2 ticks is what I do. Little selling structure. Potential for the IB.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Little late.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
I get a scale. Liquidity pulls. Oh, was that my target? Oh, no. Yeah, I did pull my target. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to hold for 67.
Order submitted.
And then we have that 90. 80 key resistance. Gaining some strength here. Breaking higher. Stops picked. Pull back. That liquidity is leaving. Or, no, he's still there. Friday's high is at 69.5. There's the IB. Potential to take me here. Okay, I'm taken. High volume node here. Below the IB. Want to see a pullback to the IB for a potential long. Here's a pullback.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
We're back in.
Order submitted.
So we got 67 and that key resistance at 80. We just tapped the high here. It's just been a grind. It's just been a grind up. But what's interesting is that we see that we tested here, grinded higher, checked, and then this was another check here. So if it is going to continue, it looks like we're creating some structure for that to happen. Very choppy, but it's still doing its thing. That's a perfect IBC there. Perfect IBC. Structure, pull back, entry, immediate fill. And we have enough room to play with. ES melting up. IMO for runner left. My entry in that 42 stock zone. I'm comfortable holding as long as price is respecting the 55 stock zone and especially making progress above IB high. The orange lines, blah, 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 blah. Okay, testing the high. Blah, 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 blah. So we see a little flag and then we break up. Retesting, unable to break the high. Not the type of structure we want to see, but we're still making progress above IB. On the higher time frame, the 55 stock zone. It's underneath all these stops. Not a location for me. The location is down here. And if we fall out down here, then there's potential to look for inside out, back up. So we fall out of that high. Sellers are making a little bit of progress. We're still above the IB. We'll see how we react to this volume that we're coming back down to test. See how we react to the IB. I have to pee. Hi, Pop. So we're holding that IB still, pushing the highs. You know, it's a grind. Creating a lot of volume up here above the IB. Another base. Chop fest. Testing. Just tested the high. That guy at 65 pulled, which is what we want to see. Break the high. So, slow grind break. A lot of stops there. No liquidity present any longer, which is great. These guys are all getting out of the way. We don't want to see them step in. 160 stops taken on volume. These guys are stepping in up here. New highs. New highs.
Order submitted.
That's what I meant to do, 66.5. Liquidity steps in, gets us that fill. Now we're just holding a runner. We have 80. The only logical place for my stop loss is here. Below the IB. And now we're just gonna let this thing do its thing. That guy is trading, so book flipped. Selling. Low volume node. So that's a break and a pullback. I could be done with this trade if I want. I could also move my stop here. So we're breaking above. Still sitting long side only, seeing a fight in this area now. Yes, there's my key target. If it continues to push through but offers is getting filled though. Yes, there's my key target, 67.25, our 310 high. It continues to push through the offers, but the offers is getting filled through. My stop is aligned with an LVN. Here's an LVN.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
I'm comfortable with that. It's beyond the LVN, and then we'd be coming into the next distribution. Enough room to pick these stops. We're seeing some exhaustion at the 67 level. Not really seeing buyers step in. And if we get beyond here, there's potential for the IB. Yes, still hasn't given any reason to consider short. 55 stock zone now in confluence with RTH levels. Interesting. Coming down towards this low. Okay. Let's take a look. Nice. So we have the IB to look for. After that, we have that stock zone at 55 and the RTH levels. Selling pressure continues. So it seems like this was the area that proved me wrong. Yeah, so right just beyond it, because we put up a fight. We take it out, which is my stop. So that was the correct area. Break it, pull back to that little fight. So this was a good trailing stop here. Now we're back at the IB. Break. And that is a break. We'll look for the RTH levels. Seeing some stop divergence here. We saw the IB act as resistance.
I'm gonna wash the dishwasher. Are you done with coffee?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'll keep those cups.
This one too?
Yeah. That's my water cup. Hi. $16 stops. Testing the high of that volume. Still rejecting the IB. We have some volume to rely on here, which aligns with the auction that hadn't really been tested. Pretty thin here. Selling increases. That area is too high. Pull back to the volume. Liquidity stepping in at the IB. Some buying happening here. So that 56 area got defended. And we pick stops at the IB. Holding below the IB. So we're holding here. Weak high at the IB. There's a test. Yet to break above. Some exhaustion on the bid. Break. Strong buying. We'll look for a pullback to the IB. So come down into the stock zone. Considered an LVN. Holding the HVN as resistance. Break above. Retest the low. Come back up. Auctioning the high. Break. LVN here. Let's see how we react to this IB. Here's the IB.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Come on, you cocker-doodle-doo. Okay, we get our scale. Now the high is sitting at 67. Hi.
We got her right now.
The volume, we have the volume sitting here.
Order
We're gonna
submitted.
front rush this little cocker-doodle-doo. Okay. Pretty short trade. And then after that, we have single prints coming into 72. So our entry was at 61. First target is at 66.5. So we're getting proper risk there. Just looking for a pullback to the volume. First obstacle. Yeah, taking 4 points off, so it's a 5-point gain just about. And after that, we will look for the 80 key resistance. Another perfect entry. Is this what it feels like to be a good trader? Some strong buying. Would be nice if it comes about a 0.5 point higher. It's a pretty decent stop pick. Let's just play it out. Because this was a pretty decent hold. Unable to get down here. Pretty structured. And that 67 area is where we really saw the battle happening. So if it wants to test there, it's going to get up there to give it the test. But I do see that the high volume node is right here now. So John says 55 is the LIS for continuation of possible 3-9 singles.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right, so we test high, we test low, we're basing, and now lifting. We've created volume here. So it's gaining strength for a retest of the stock zone. Here's some buying, met with some selling. I hear Phoebe eating a door. I hear Phoebe eating the door. She's literally eating the whole door. Okay, cool. Okay. We're really trying to get above here. I see some strong volume. This is a weak high. So my trailing stop was good. That was a really good location for it. Because I would have been taken out. Come on, cock-a-doodle-doo. You're almost there. Oh boy. Nice. All right. Target acquired. So, some pretty decent selling from that area. Pretty decent rejection. But we're holding for that break into the single prints.
Order submitted.
At 72.25.
Order submitted.
Front rush by 2 ticks. I don't know. What is this? Oh.
Order submitted.
Phoebe, stop eating.
Hi, Poppy.
Phoebe. Come on, Phoebe. All the animals, really? Pushing the high. What are you doing, Ricky? Cut it out. No. No, Ricky. All right.
Ricky, what's happening over there?
So we push the high here. Where is a good trailing stop? I see volume here at 65. That's the stalk zone. Maybe like 63.5.
Order submitted.
Decent amount to break through, right? So now we're pushing the high. Still a grind. Liquidity at 70. Stops pulled. Coming into this liquidity. Some strong volume there. Gonna have to see a pretty big break. Liquidity stepping in at 72. We're front rushing it. So it's good. We're in the book already. That 69 area has been picked. That was the high of day from Friday. Want to see how we react here. Liquidity is firming up. I think I can move my trailing stop up. 66.75.
Order submitted.
Like
Order
that.
Submitted.
That looks pretty decent to me. Because we'll have to fight through this outside edge and then get into here. And we have some volume created here. A little battle. So there's a decent chance for a counter rotation if we break through here. And I'm straddling 3 points and 3 points. It's moving so slow, I could barely fucking see what's going on. Rejection. I could reasonably be out here. All right. I'm good with it. Nice day. I am finished. Hi, Phoebe. Right, rejection into liquidity. Decent selling, can't break the high. Liquidity, very strong rejection. Pullback. Fine exit. Nice. That is exactly what I like to see. And this is what I wanted to see too. Look at that jump. These numbers are all really nice. Except for this one. All right. So, let's see how we started today. We start today with a short that begins to work but then fails right before the open. We pull back. To the low a day. Don't break it. Come off of it. I go long, get a scale, we reject the 45 level, I get stopped. We break, but we come to 36, which really has nothing attached to it. We're unable to test the 20 level. Create some structure, rally back up to the high day. Break the high day. Rally up above 50. Come back down, test the VPOC. Upon the test of VPOC, I'm very quick when I see the stop divergence and the buying start to pick up, and I enter a long. I immediately get scaled. I'm questionable about where I should place my target, but then I say, no, I should keep it where it is. I keep it. Don't move it at all. I get the target. Price rallies up to 56. Price rallies back down. I take a trailing stop. Price comes back down, breaks that 45 level, creates structure, rallies up to this volume here, comes back down to VPOC, creates some volume, pushes lower, pushes higher. I enter a trade on the pullback, and it does not work immediately, and I get stopped before price comes back down, tests the VWAP, the VPOC. So I get stopped because of my entry by about a point. Price tests the high of that volume at 51, rejects below the 43 level. We see a flagging pattern where we're testing above the previous high a day. We break above the low, create some volume above the open line and at VPOC, and rally. Rally up to the high. come back down to test the VPOC. On that retest, I wait to see structure, and I enter a long at 45. I immediately get a scale, and I get filled for one target at 54. Price comes up to the high, can't break the high. I take a full trailing stop here. I have to really think about this in the future. I think I probably could have placed it around here and saved myself 7 points. But either way, this was a beautiful structure here. Come back down, test 45. Test 43. We see not that many stops. Come back up, test the structure, hold the low, break above, consolidate, break off of VWAP. Come back up to test the high. Right here. We reject the high once again. And then we see VPOC migrate from 44 to 50, which is suggesting that price is too low at the 44 level. Upon seeing the VPOC migration, I take along with my stop below the structure, and this one I felt kind of shaky on, but what I did in the moment was I reminded myself that this is my edge, and I should be taking all of the trades within my edge and not caring if they win or lose. So I take the trade, I hold on to it, I get a scale, and then I have a target right before the high of day. I get filled on that target. My trailing stop is moved up to 53. And then my final target is at 65, just before the 67 stock zone. So the IB is set at 9:30, at 10:30, and the IB is set to 60.5. We're making higher highs. Then price comes back down and tests the outside edge just after the IB. See some structure, see some buying. I enter a long and almost immediately get filled for my scale. While I'm getting filled for my scale, I accidentally pull down my final target, so I also get filled to my final target. I get scratched on this trade by one tick, and price reverses. So price, on that reversal, we see this nice structure, volume, break low, no stops, test the volume, break high above the IB, and then on the pullback to the IB, I enter a long. I immediately get filled for a scale, and I'm targeting the 67 stock zone. Price comes back down to test near the IB a couple times before grinding up and taking out my first target. And I place my trailing stop underneath the structure, and I get taken out for a 2-point or 3-point gain on the final contract. This turns out to be the best decision because price breaks the IB and tests the 56 zone that we were watching. When it came down to test the 56 zone, it creates some structure, picks stops, and then breaks above the structure and retests. Price breaks above the IB, tests the IB from above, which is where I take my entry with a tight stop, and I immediately get filled for a scale. I'm targeting the high, which I get filled for on that same grinding action, and then price runs into liquidity and the 310 high at 69. I see a pretty steep rejection, and I exit my runner for a 7-point gain. It turns out that my runner would have been fully hit at 72 singles. So this will be something to review. But I still think it's acceptable because I see the structure, I see the liquidity, and then it turns into a game of probabilities of how much do I want to give back, what's my practical risk-reward ratio. All right, so that's my morning recapped. Honestly, almost every opportunity there was, I caught this morning. So I did a really nice job riding this train the whole way up. It's grinding up still. It can still continue, but it's 11:30. Time to eat lunch and review. All right, GG.